All right, you guys. Hey, guys! Did you know Sniper Elite VR first gameplay footage was shown? Did you know that? Did you know? Did you know? Did you know?
You know. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, never mind. You know what? It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a great thumbnail, Brian.
Yeah, you're great. This isn't from that footage. Is that what you're going to complain about? The footage kind of looks bad, so I had to use something that looked good. So this looks really good.
It looks great, Brian.
Oh, does it? Okay, well, I can't wait for the show, man. We should definitely talk about it and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's
start it.
Let's start the show. This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. My name is Brian Paul from this channel, right here, PSVR Without Parole. And the guys to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station, VVR. Yeah.
Hey, wow, that was restrained. I liked it.
I took everything I had, held it all in, restrained. And that guy on the right-hand side of the screen is AJ from The Underground. We're not going to talk about Werewolves Within.
I wasn't feeling it, Brian. I wasn't feeling it.
You weren't feeling it.
I'll talk about it in a minute. I didn't want people to think I was rude.
He wanted to surprise you. It was surprise mechanics.
Hey, man.
You surprised me, that's for sure.
Maybe I will. Guys,
I love how we agree to do something and then he just doesn't say anything and just scraps it in his own head.
It felt like the wrong move, and I decided I wasn't going to do it. Anyways, so we were going to talk about a little bit about Werewolves Within, the movie we've talked about in the past. Yeah. It's out in theaters now, so if you guys have a chance, go see it. Give them your hard-earned bucks. The reviews are coming in, and they are mostly very positive. Sounds like it's a lot of fun, great movie, and they're saying it's the best video game adaptation movie ever made, which is kind of a low bar. But yeah, give it a shot. And it's going to be streaming starting Friday, so if you don't get a chance to go see it in theaters, it'll be on the internet for you. That's exciting stuff.
You said it's a low bar, but I'm desperately trying to think of a video game adaptation movie that I really enjoyed, and I guess
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but it's still schlocky. It's not a good movie. It's just kind of fun. But
yeah, he said enjoyed.
Yeah,
I enjoyed. I enjoyed a couple too many, to be honest with you. But
yeah. I'm sure somebody in the chat will remind me of something that I actually liked. Maybe I'm too critical. Who knows?
Anything ever, keep your expectations low.
Anything
always.
Ever.
But,
and for this show specifically.
And you won't be disappointed.
That's right. We want to give a quick shout out to Jappy Condal with the $5 tip from 3 hours ago, man. Thank you so much for starting things off on the right foot. We also want to remind people to join our Discord. Discord link is in the description. That's where this conversation happens 24/7. And also, if you like what you see, make sure you support us on patreon.com/withoutparolegames for just $1 or more every single month. And you can get your name on that little Patreon scroll that scrolls endlessly forever and ever and ever. That's it. That's all I got, man.
Well, I just wanted to say, Brian, what is up to you? What is up to Dave? And what is up to Game Cats? Good Monday to you. I know Mondays usually suck, but hopefully we can make your Monday suck just a little bit less.
Is it Monday?
Or more.
I'm so confused.
Depending on who you are.
Every day just runs together.
If you guys are in the Pacific Northwest, I hope you're covered in ice right now and you're doing fine, because I've heard it's been pretty rough up there with the heat wave going on. A lot of people don't have AC, so I know Betty's going through that. I know we got a ton of cats up there in that region. So
here's Dave with the weather.
Stay cool. No, it's not just the weather. No, it's crazy. It's 115 degrees up there.
It's gonna rain.
Wild. So stay cool, folks.
Stay cool, Game Cats. We had a logo that said that. We had a Game Cat with that logo. In fact. All right, you guys, we want to kick the show off. I want to tell people some of the plans that we have going on here. On the run of show, it's listed as I Expect You to Die live stream series, but I want to talk about more than that. First, actually, I want to talk about the top 20 list that you may have noticed. We didn't do a new one of. The old list is about 3 months old. We try to do it every 3 months. But, man, the next 3 months, there's 20 new games coming out in the next 3 months. And according to my list, I think 10 of those could potentially crack the top 25 list, or at least upset the top 25 list in some way or another. And then another, all the other ones just look like they're going to be like fun at least. So I think we're going to hold off until after summer, until these 3 months are over, and then create like a way more comprehensive, way more up-to-date list, rather than wasting your time, our time, and a bunch of my time editing behind the scenes. So that's that. And of course, the Swordsman. The I Expect You to Die series, the live stream series, kicked off today. I Expect You to Die is coming out. Expect You to Die 2 is coming out soon. And I hadn't played the first one in quite a while, probably since the episode we did, Why We Love, on it. And so I've been going back, replaying those levels. I'm going to do one level per day until I beat all of them. And probably going to spend a little more time on each level than I did today. The first one I just kind of like ran through, and as soon as I beat it, I was like, done. But then I saw some achievements that I really wanted, things like, like speed running it and like different ways of solving the puzzles. I really like to get into that. So stay tuned to more I Expect You to Die for the rest of this week on Without Parole. That's it. I think those are the updates I've got. You guys have updates?
Nope.
Okay. Well, then we should probably dive right into the news. AJ, what is your favorite color?
Blue, no yellow. Ah! The first set of news, guys, is that Swordsman Sin Studio released the much long anticipated hand-to-hand combat, which update for Swordsman, and I got to check it out yesterday, and man, I gotta say, this thing is sweet. I don't know if you guys got to play it yet, but I got a couple things I definitely want to highlight from it that kicks ass.
Did you get to feed a guy to the Kraken? I know that was your first order of business. You want to feed a guy to the Kraken. Nice.
I fed the Kraken. Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
Very good stuff. That's all I needed to know.
Fluffy was fed.
Nice. Well, that's great. That's great news. Yeah, no, I get to play it a little bit, man, but I only get to play it to capture some footage for PSVR this week, so nothing extraordinary. I know a lot of cats were talking about your stream and some of the cool stuff that you were doing that I haven't even done yet. So please enlighten us and let us know the crazy shit you can do in Swordsman now.
Well, so I thought this was just going to be a simple, you can grab some enemies now and throw them and stuff, and then you can just punch them. And that's only part of the story here. The fun part is that there's actually a little bit more deeper mechanics than that. Like, you can knock somebody's sword out, and then they throw up their fists, and you can start just brawling, fist fighting. And I think that's pretty cool. I was able to perform. You guys ever watch wrestling?
I tried
ever in your life? Yeah. I had a neighbor that was a famous wrestler, and so he got me into it for a little while. It was a lot of fun. But so I started being able to actually perform wrestling moves. I did a fucking German suplex to a samurai, and it was one of the most.
Them up and flip them over. And shit?
Yeah, so if they're dead, you can actually pick them up and have your way with them in so many different ways.
I'm sure
Don't
you
get too excited, Brian. But if they're still alive, you can grab them from the shoulders or the head and stuff, and you can mess with them. But yeah, I performed an actual wrestling move on him, but it goes on beyond that. I mean, you can. This is where things get really dark. Okay. If you got little ones, maybe cover their ears. But you can grab their heads, and you can twist them, and it goes, and breaks their neck. And I was like, oh man, my stomach dropped a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is cool as hell that you can do this, but good God, is that brutal. Super brutal, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of disturbing, but I'm so glad I can do it, and I'll do it again. Can't stop me.
That's pretty awesome, man. It's this is it's it's called Swordsman, and now we have a gun and in hand-to-hand combat and all sorts of different grappling mechanics and shit. So this is just becoming a bigger, better game with every single month. I don't know when they're gonna stop, but I'm just kind of thrilled. This is really shit. When people kept asking for it, people have been asking for a lot of this stuff for a while. And for everything from dismemberment to hand-to-hand combat. And I was in my head, I was like, how much of this is going to make it into the game? And all of it has. The only thing that hasn't made it into the game is really multiplayer. And we don't have confirmation as to whether that's going to be a thing or not. Kind of incredible, dude. Kind of incredible.
Yeah, I mean the mechanics that he's added to this game, he's got these assets that you can like really make like these huge adventure games with and stuff and stuff like he's just got like a foundation, a wonderful foundation for just an arena brawler and all these things, you know, he's going to be taking and using in the future with PSVR 2. So just really excited about how far he's come along. Also, if I also this made me realize that if I was ever going to become a professional wrestler, I'd be the samurai pirate, because I've combined the samurai helmet with a pirate outfit, and I'm like, that has never been done, I don't think. And so I think that might actually be my Halloween costume, is the samurai pirate.
Mott22, the
right.
GameCast, says so many options. It should just be called Man VR. Which
I like it.
I agree with.
Man VR.
Real quick, want to give a shout out to NihilistRyan, the game Feline with the $5 tip, says, just wanted to say that I'm in the Northwest and melting, but I finally got a PS5, and that feels pretty cool. Nice.
Nice.
Congratulations on that. Yeah. If anybody else managed to secure a PlayStation 5 this week, let us know in the comments. We definitely have been curious to see how difficult it is. I'm supposed to be keeping an eye out for one for my brother, and I have been doing a horrible job of that this week. But I should keep an eye on that.
Kramer 3K says, Dearson Studios, where are the secret jetpacks?
Good question.
There's one more thing to this update. They added some maces too, and the maces also feel really good. So just a kick-ass update overall. I'm sure there was maybe something else, but I was just so excited about slapping people and like slapping these like Viking warriors and stuff and just embarrassing them in front of their villages.
Yeah,
it was glorious.
It was, it was a little scary when I first heard people playing the update when it first dropped, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's crashing every 5 seconds. Oh, it's glitches and bugs and whatever." And I was like, "Whoa, what just happened to Swordsman? How did this happen?" And then it was literally like hours later when like we got the notification, "Oh, everything's fixed." It's like, I love that, man. It's like really on top of their shit. Something bad happens, and maybe not easily corrected, but it's very quickly corrected. And one of the things that I got to say, just to cap off this conversation, what I didn't expect was being able to disarm your enemies and suddenly be like just I mean it's so funny because like if I swing my sword and I hit my enemy and he drops his sword, I don't hold on to my sword anymore. I don't know what it is in me, but I'm like,
you just drop it.
Ooh, it's a fist fight. I throw everything down, and I'm like, come on, we're gonna do this, And I'm like, and that's not how you fight, by the way, or you're gonna get really hurt. So I don't know what it is. Like I just got into the spirit of what they were doing, but really, it's like you swing your sword, they drop their sword. It's like fucking sweet, man. They have no offense anymore. Just kill them. Yeah. But man, it's like that's and I think that's part of the thing with this game, right? I think I've seen a lot of people talk about this game and like, oh, it's not for me, or I don't like this, or I don't like that, it's too buggy. I think it's all about getting into it, and a lot of games just give you the game and like, here you go, and like this is, and like if you're gonna play it, you're like into it. But this game, if you get into character and you just have fun with it, it just becomes like this whole different thing. But if you just expect the game, you put the headset on, pick up your move controls, and expect it to be amazing, I feel like you got to get into character, or you're not going to enjoy it. I could be wrong.
You're pretty much right. Yeah. A lot of people think like, oh, there's not much to this game. Well, the experience is the combat, is performing the combat and messing around with it. And
there's also that loop of like, you get upgrades for your character and you unlock new weapons and you buy new stuff. And like, once you get into that, and you're like, oh, wait, I can use this new skill or something, or like whatever, or like unlocking the boss weapons. There's a reason to play it other than just the combat's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like you're saying, it's not like going to be like a campaign RPG kind of thing or whatever. But
right. It's not story driven or anything.
Yeah. Right. All right, you guys. Our next news story comes to us from Ivanovich Games. We talked to them today. I talked to them today. I don't know, AJ, you might have been ahead of me on this one. But it looks like we're getting back to Midway, 1976, pretty soon.
Exciting. If you guys like shoot 'em up games, like old arcade style games, this one's pretty cool. It does that classic kind of like we saw in Operation Warcade. They love to do this Ivanovich Games where they switch you between like you're playing an arcade machine and then like you are in the arcade game, and you kind of go back and forth between the two. But it's cool, even in the flat kind of mode, there's depth to everything. And there's sort of like cool effects happening around you. So it doesn't feel like you're playing a flat game. But then, go into the 3D, and that's pretty fun too. So yeah, I mean, I think this will be something to look forward to. It's got a 9 out of 10 on Steam, so people definitely liking it out there.
I love shmups, and I love games like this, and what I also am excited about is not only this game, but the second one as well. There was like the Midway multi-pack or something that's going to be the sequel to this. So I'm excited for both. We get this one. The second one actually looks better to me, just like more personalized kind of, But I love that this one looks great and the next one looks better. So I've got this one to look forward to, and then a potential even better sequel to look forward to as well. It's like a awesome little Ivanovich roadmap that is cool.
It's more personalized, like they give your pilot a beanie, or what?
Maybe
it's just something that is more appealing to you. Is what you're trying to say, right?
Right. It's more like a side scrolling. It's got that angled like side scrolling thing. I don't know. They both look really awesome, but that kind of side scroller, like I've said before, Einhander, where it starts from the side, but then it shifts around and stuff, and then like Life Force and those old school shoot 'em ups are I'm just a big fan of them.
Sure. Yeah, I've been playing. I won't even get into it because that could be a whole other conversation. But Dave, Dave, you played this on your channel, right?
I did, yeah.
And,
I enjoyed
it. And it's divided up just like Operation Warcade is, right? So like you don't have control over when you switch perspective. It's just like, hey, we're gonna fucking throw you into this perspective. We're gonna throw you into this one. That's just how it works.
Yep, exactly. Although the one thing I did notice from what I played of this is I think I recall liking the arcadey bits more than the immersive bits, which is kind of the reverse for Operation Warcade, where I really liked being able to get down there and have the aim and like drive the truck and shoot stuff, and that was fun. I felt like the ones that I played in this were a little less satisfying in the immersive mode, but I really liked the gameplay in general, like of the basic mode. I
can't tell from the trailer. Obviously when you're just doing the top-down thing like a normal shmup, you're just moving your plane left and right and avoiding bullets, right? And
but there's depth to the world. Like you see a flat slice of it, but it has depth, and things are above and below, and like when power-ups go, there's like effects and stuff.
So in that, from when you're looking at the top-down, you're not changing your altitude. Correct?
No.
So when just like a normal shmup, but when you're in first person, when you're in the immersive mode, are you also just going left and right, or do you have full control over your altitude then?
I believe you can do a little bit of altitude up and down. It's been a while, honestly, since I played it.
Okay.
So I don't recall 100%, but definitely you went first person and you were in the plane and you were guiding it like that and shooting guys off in the distance in front of you.
Good for mixing up the gameplay.
Yeah. Like it's more like a low budget Ace Combat kind of thing. You're in your plane and there's guys in front of you and that kind of thing.
Right, kind of rail shootery where you're just moving forward. Not rail shooter.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's not like in that way it's actually less like Ace Combat because it is pretty much linear. You have to go forward.
Nice. Guys, we got an update that I was not expecting this week from New Wanda, the developers behind Discovery.
Oh, God.
Yeah, definitely thought this game was dead. From what I know, I don't know if things have changed in the last 3 years, but I think it's a one-person dev team. Do you guys have any notes on the updates that we got from Discovery? Was it yesterday?
It's move support. They added move support, I think, is the thing. And I think recently they added their stuff to like Quest App Lab or something like that. So that's probably why they're going back and working on it and adding more stuff because they've got it on Quest now.
Between the events that transpired before the stream and now, I'm convinced that none of you read my text messages or emails. I've got the full change log here for VR. They've added support for move controllers. They've added a setting for move speed, added smooth rotation, added a comfort vignette. Get that back out of there. Added third-person view by pressing left stick, blah, blah, blah. And then they did some performance and graphics fixes as well. But most of it revolves around smooth turning and move support.
Now, this is the game that before Minecraft was out and before we knew we were getting Minecraft, we were like, oh, well, I guess we got to settle for this Discovery thing. And, it's a one-man dev team, so it's impressive that he's done all this. But at the same time, with Minecraft out there in the world, it's hard to say, oh, go out and snap up Discovery because they added move support. It's nice to see support for the game ongoing, but also, like, I don't know. Just play Minecraft, right? At this point.
At this point, yeah, I would say so. Although they added move support to their game, so what's up, Mojang? What's going on? Huh? What's happening? No, this is, it's a little crazy. Back in the day when they first brought this to PlayStation VR, they had this like list of things they wanted to do with the game, and one of the things they were going to do with it was add a survival mode to make it actually like Minecraft. And I was like, oh, well, that's amazing. But then it turned out, and this is the weirdest thing ever, that adding a survival mode would change the ESRB rating, because it's suddenly there's combat and enemies and all this stuff, and it's like you can't do that. And I was like, well, just like there's got to be workarounds, right? Yeah. There's got to be workarounds in terms of like, just like fine, take it down from the store and then put up a new listing or something, and it's still, and I understand that this game is like $12 and that people bought it and that they're going to be like, well, what about my free upgrade because I purchased it already? But to limit your game because of an ESRB rating to like basically eliminate half of your game, the thing that people really want from this, and just and force them to be stuck with only a creative mode, when all because of an ESRB rating. I was like, that it just sounds so ridiculous. It's like, take the next step, figure out a way to make this happen, put it on an extreme discount for the first week that it's out, make it $2 for every, just say, hey, it's $2 for the first week it's out. If you own Discovery, here's your $2 upgrade, right? And then just put it back to full price after the first week. There's a million different ways they could have handled this rather than just saying, well, we're not going to do a survival mode. And so, I don't know. It took 3 years for this update to come out. Like literally, they made promises for 3 years, and then then they finally brought it out. And like, all right, I at this point, I'm like, to me, it's too little, too late.
What's with that cover of "Nothing Else Matters" by Metallica in the trailer?
I don't know.
Is that like somebody they know? Why is that in the trailer?
I don't know. I was fully expecting to get a copyright claim for that on PSVR this week. Did not happen. No idea.
It hardly sounds. It sounds pretty different.
Oh, right. That's true. I guess I wouldn't because it's the cover.
Yeah.
Good question.
I mean, yeah, it is Metallica though.
So I did it.
Never be too careful.
So I did see in the comments on PSVR this week, Todd the Father Muckin King Gat basically said, on the topic of Discovery, it's definitely not too late. There are people like me who don't like Minecraft, but do enjoy Discovery. Yes, it's weird, I know. There are many of us who feel the same way. I'm happy to see Discovery getting an update, and I still just don't care for Minecraft. So I asked him, I was like, well, give me some more information, man. Talk to me. I'm just going to skim this because it's kind of a long. So just to kind of give another perspective here, because I played Discovery, I did it. I made a town for review, and then I was like, all right, well, here you go. We don't have Minecraft, we have this. Take it at face value here. He says, Discovery feels less convoluted to me. It's a bit easier to pick up and navigate. It's not bombarding me with updates and additions that are attacking my pockets. It presents itself as an open world I can escape into without all the tropes of Minecraft. I'm not a multiplayer type of person who wants to be surrounded by typically youth gamers in Minecraft. Or Discovery, I can still scratch that itch without having 1,000 different additions to worry about. I like the building aspect of it. I also like that a small team did what Microsoft wasn't willing to do, meaning bring it to PSVR initially, and then, of course, now adding move support. So he definitely lists a couple good things here about Discovery, and I still think if you don't like Minecraft, this is a pretty cool place to make stuff, but you just don't get to share that stuff with nearly as many people, unfortunately. Good on them for finally coming through. I'm sure that Nuwanda, again, one-person dev team, I'm sure that they work a full-time job. This was sort of a hobby in the background. That's my guess. I don't have confirmation on that, but generally that's what we hear. Those are the kind of stories we hear about these kind of developers. So good on them for finally doing it, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah, I just watched the trailer with the audio on, which I hadn't done before. That's pretty funny, AJ. But actually, yeah, it looks a little better than I remember it looking. Some of those textures look pretty fun, and I don't know. I can see. I'm kind of surprised to hear people say that they like Discovery and don't like Minecraft, but I guess you've laid out some pretty decent points there. So, yeah, different strokes.
Well, I don't like either one, and I like Dreams.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I'm just kidding.
I like Dreams too. I like Dreams too. Yeah. I like Dreams so much that what the fuck. Jeremy and I are going to start a new show. We're starting a new show called Made in Dreams, and it's happening starting, as far as I know, this Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So it's just going to kind of right between GAMESCAST. And
you see that, Cats? That's how you squeeze the info out of Brian. Yep. Treat you just like a developer.
Jeremy and I love the Dreams community. We love what all the creators are doing over there, and we just want to give a little bit more spotlight, especially to the people who are making Dreams that are PSVR compatible. And after this review that I just did of Dreams, and spending way more time and starting to get into the creation tools and all of this stuff, I have so much respect for that entire community, and we just want to shine a spotlight on them. So we're going to pick a game that's made in Dreams every week. It's going to be a short show, 15-20 minutes every week. We're just going to boom. What's that?
Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me.
I didn't.
I sneezed. I apologize.
I'm sure there was a joke in there, but I totally missed it. So it's, instead of doing like a Why We Love episode, we wanted Jeremy to come back, and we wanted to have a place for him. I was going to do Dreams. I'm assuming that when you sneeze, you said cool Dream Borders. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
It took a little while. Then I was like, wait, what's the one thing? What's his one claim to fame here? Okay, that's it. And so again, we wanted Jeremy to come back. I'm excited to get his face and his voice again on the channel. And again, I was going to start reviewing individual Dreams creations, like as an edited show. And I was like, that's going to be like a lot of extra time. But this is killing two birds with one stone. So it's gonna be a live show. So if you guys jump in there, give us your Dreams recommendations. We're gonna cover one per show, once a week, and that's it, man. So we'll see Jeremy again very, very soon.
Awesome. Having Jeremy live is always fun too. You get all the stuff that you would have maybe edited out just for time's sake.
The word that comes to mind, Dave, is liability. Yeah, very exciting. I can't wait to have him back. I love Jeremy so much. All right, guys. The next story on our news list comes to us from Camouflage and Limited Run Games. Guys, did you know that Republique VR is going to be available to purchase as a limited run game starting this Friday? Did you know?
I did.
I can't wait to not buy it.
You know what? I actually might buy this one, and I say this all the time. I'm like, well, I wouldn't, but I might because I was looking at the special edition, and it comes with this thing that's a little cryptic to me, and there's no info about it anywhere, but I'm very curious. It's a documentary about Camouflage that's a Blu-ray that's exclusive to this. There's no mention of, it says like previously unannounced documentary, like behind the scenes of Camouflage. And there's only 675 of these that are going out. So like, if they don't put that up on YouTube, or if they don't post that somewhere else, like, that might be the only way to get that like documentary look inside. And I'm like, that sounds kind of cool. Even if it's just some like 30-minute little thing, like it looks like it'll be interesting. And so I might get it just for that reason. Although I swear to God, like they're going to post it on YouTube the second I hit purchase, and then the whole thing will be right there. And I won't have to buy it.
That was totally a joke, by the way. I've had a really hard time understanding what Republique is supposed to be.
It's like a kind of adventure game. Yeah.
Right. And I went and I watched the trailer. I watched like a little bit of some footage of it that I think was from Camouflage or something. And it started to click a little bit more. So now I'm like looking forward to playing it a little bit more. But for the longest time, I was just like, I had no understanding of what it was. And then Brian started it with like, you're kind of like looking through security cameras and you're helping somebody through and like hacking stuff. And then I went and watched like more. It might have been the limited run trailer. And then
yeah. I've been away from limited run for a while now. I've been kind of uninterested in everything they do because a lot of what they do these days isn't like I used to care. Like when it was they did the limited run for To the Top, it was 1,200 copies. I was like, that's amazing. Like only 1,200 copies in the world, right? And then they started doing these open pre-orders where it's like, well, it's limited to the number of people who pre-order in the next month and a half. And I'm like, that's like tens of thousands of people. Like that's not limited anymore. That's just like a low print run.
Yeah.
And so that's not exciting to me, you know. And so and so now what they're doing with this is something that they're doing a little bit more frequently. The PlayStation 4 and Switch version of this game is an open pre-order, and they'll probably be, I think it's open for like a month or something like that. But then they have the collector's edition, as Dave was talking about, and it's ridiculously limited. And I find that
675, yeah.
Find that endlessly fascinating whenever I'm like, wow, there's really, really so few of these made. Yeah. I'm going to try to buy this, and I really hope I'm able to. I hope we're able to,
same.
because they divide it up until like 10 a.m. and then again at 6 p.m. And so like literally you sit there at 10 a.m. like refreshing the page, and then like only 325 are available, and you're like,
Well, the fucked up thing about this one too that I don't like with the limited quality or quantity of them is that they don't have a limit on orders. So you can come in and order 100 of them if you get there at 10 a.m. and there is not a limit on the pre-orders. Usually they limit people to 1 or 2. There's a specific note here that says you can buy as many of them as you can fucking purchase.
That sucks.
So hopefully this doesn't seem like a big scalper item. Like I don't think this would be on the radar of scalpers. So hopefully that it doesn't go that way. I'm just going to try and get there right at 10. I mean, I have a meeting at 10 a.m. for work every day, so I have to be awake either way. So I'll be clicking the thing while I'm at my meeting.
You're gonna be 2 minutes late for work because you're like, I'm sorry, I was buying this limited edition game. Yeah. So anyway, and like there's generally not a ton of PSVR games sold on limited run. Like I've got a handful of them, and a lot of them are crap. There's like Light Tracer and Lux, Project Lux. I mean, some really crappy ones. And so this is I haven't played Republic since it was in the flat screen, and I only played the first hour, and I was like, I'm just not really terribly interested in this. So I'm really hoping that VR gives me another chance to check into it and see what it's all about, and hopefully enjoy it this time around.
Yeah, the one interesting thing to me about this too is that a lot of PSVR games, you get the disc that is one disc or one download, and it has both versions, the flat and the VR version. What it looks like in this limited run is that there is a separate disc for the PSVR version and a separate disc for the PS4 one. What this makes me think is because Republic was already out physical without a PSVR version, without limited run, it had a regular physical release.
Right.
Then it got delisted from the store for some reason. Maybe because they were planning on this second release of it. But you can't buy it digitally right now. The only way is if you have the original copy of it. But then again, no PSVR version has ever existed yet. We don't even know, this is going to ship 4 months from now, probably. But in that meantime, when do we get the actual digital version of this, I wonder?
Well,
because that's still kind of up in the air, right?
Well, when Camouflage tweeted about the PlayStation VR update that's coming for it, I retweeted and said, please don't release this during summer, because we have way too many games coming out during summer. And Ryan Payton himself responded saying, we are the agents of chaos. And I was like, fuck you guys.
Okay.
Fuck you. Well, why is every game coming out this summer? It's like I'm really happy for all the gamers out there that especially gamers who don't like going to the beach and don't like going outside like me. But because you're going to have so much shit to play this summer. But man, I don't even know how we're going to cover it all over here. It's going to be insane.
I am curious, because when they had the 2 separate discs, I figured the VR version would be a separate release, totally not an update to the existing one for owners of the game. I thought you'd have to do a Kona thing, where if you have the game, you buy a VR pack add-on that's a few bucks, and then you get the VR version. But it sounds like a free update then to the existing game for owners of the existing game.
That's a good question. It's a good question. I couldn't tell you with any kind of certainty. I assumed it was a VR VR patch, but I don't really have.
They'll have to relist it on the PSN store too. I mean, it's currently not available digitally, like I said. So when that happens, how do you patch a game people can't even buy, right? You got to put it back up in the store.
Good point. I'll have to look into that. All right, you guys. So anyone who's going to purchase that on Friday, good luck to you, and good luck to you, Dave, and good luck to me and AJ. If you attempt it, good luck to you. Fuck all of you. I want one. I don't care if you get one or not. All right, you guys.
I guess that brings us to the main event of the evening.
Is it
fighting in the red corner?
Is it Big Show's $5 tip saying keep up the good? I just fucking love derailing you in the middle of awesome segues. He says keep up the good work. I'm on the fence about the game. I've been hooked on Fallout 4, Fallout 4's new VR mod. Excellent.
Is he talking about Republique, or is he saying?
He's talking
about Sniper Elite.
Probably. He's talking about Quest games and stuff. So we just smile and nod when
Big
Show talks.
About Big Show?
We just smile and nod when Big Show talks.
What game?
Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for poking everybody. We love you. So AJ, I hear this is the topic of the show. This is the big news.
It is, and it is Sniper Elite VR, guys. It is coming out next week.
Is it next week?
Thursday. Yeah. Yes, it is coming out next Thursday. Sniper Elite is almost here, and
over on YouTube real quick. All right, and we're back. Fantastic.
All right. So
Sorry about that, guys.
they uploaded 12 minutes of non-commentary gameplay. I'm going to assume this is PC footage because, first of all, it just it showed two hands. But yeah, somebody was asking, is this game compatible? This is DualShock 4 move support and aim compatible. Of course, the one I care about the most is going to be that aim support, baby. But yeah, what did you guys observe, and what did you think of the gameplay footage?
Brian goes first.
I observed Johnny Rypop, the Stray Cat, with the Canadian $7 tip, saying, shameless plug here, BoxVR nightly session starts July 1st. Deets on the Discord tomorrow. Stay breathtaking, people. ! Coffee. Thank you very much, Rypop. Yes.
Time it better next time, Ryan. Time it better next time.
Nope, you timed it perfectly. Don't forget, guys. Yeah, if you're interested in doing BoxVR sessions with me and Rypop, and anybody else who wants to join, check up on us on Discord. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're all going to get into shape by the end of the summer. Yeah, dude. First impressions of Sniper Elite VR. I mean, at least visually, visually is definitely the thing I always consider first for first impressions. I think it's a decent looking game. I think it's a good looking game. It's again, it's running on PC, so it certainly looks good. I played this at PAX East 2019. Yep. Is that right? That can't be right. That seems so long.
Yeah, before the world ended. How was it? How did it look at the time?
It looked fine. It was running on the PlayStation 4 Pro. I was playing with an aim controller, and it looked fine. I mean, it was a little grainy in terms of resolution, but I mean, I was happy with the way that it looked, and so I think we're going to have a pretty comparable game going on here over on the PlayStation VR side of things. But that's my first impression. I thought it looked good, but it also.
Well,
I mean, there's so many but alsos coming up. AJ,
yes.
AJ, talk to me.
There are definitely some but alsos. Yeah, graphically it looks fine. The setting and everything looked really nice. Like I really liked. There was a nice showcase of a variety of guns. There was a part where they kind of. It's retelling a story. It's in like retrospective kind of thing where you're going back. You're having flashbacks of this guy that was in the war in Italy, and like the Italy and everything. Like the landscape, everything looks beautiful. A lot of the assets and everything look nice and detailed, and that looks pretty cool. But there were definitely some other things. There was also a nice blend of stealth and action, but there were some things that caught my attention as well. The first one being the X-ray. We got to see a look at the X-ray, and I saw that, and I was like, "Ooh!" Like it seems like when you do the X-ray shot, it just flashes and just shows the X-ray. It just pops up on the screen and stuff. And we're at the point where we're expecting most developers to know by this point what breaks immersion, what doesn't break immersion, what we like, and what we don't like. And that was one of the first things that kind of caught my eye, and I was like, ooh, like I'm gonna probably have to turn that off because there's probably gonna be an option for that. I have to see it first.
I don't see, like, it didn't seem like a problem. I mean, have you played Sniper Elite games before?
But
it always cuts you away from your current vision and puts you somewhere else. I mean, it seems less jarring than if they did the following the bullet cam that they usually do, because like
I would like to ride that bullet. I want to ride that bullet right into somebody's face.
I think it's more disorienting in VR if you pop a bullet out and then immediately, without you expecting it, your camera shifts to you're the bullet all of a sudden, and you're like, whoa, and then you hit the guy.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that they probably tried a lot of different iterations of it and figured that this one was the one that play tested the best and was the least immersion breaking of the ways to do it. What I'm excited about is to see in 3D in the headset how those shatters look and how those explode.
Right.
Because I think the depth of it, even
never shows on flat screen.
That will be kind of the cool part to me, to see the fragments go off in every direction and stuff.
Yeah.
So that should be cool.
You're right. I mean, and I'm of course withholding judgment until I play it myself, but that, and on the screen it looks kind of small, but in VR it probably looks a lot bigger. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it probably looks like you can see everything, see the detail, see the impact a little bit better. So Well, I got one that you don't have a rebuttal for, Dave.
Okay.
Well, Brian, did you have any thing on the X-ray?
Yeah, I'd like to check in with Rebellion at some point and see if the build that I had actually had the X-ray, had me ride the bullet. Because I mean, in my head, that's exactly what I did during PAX, and I was like, "This is cool," and that's how I remember it. But people misremember things all the time, and
there's also a chance that it is an option already, and they just didn't show it in this one because maybe it doesn't show as well as it feels in the game or something like that.
Yeah, well, it is important to note that this is not footage from Rebellion themselves. This is Upload VR. This is Jamie Feltham playing the game, which explains why there's click turning. I sent him a message and I was like, dude, who recorded this footage? He's like, it was me. And I was like, all I responded with in all capital letters was click turning, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. I was like, what? And so that's obviously an option in the game. It's not something that's forced.
They've already said on the record that there's a billion different options. There's teleport only, there's click turning only, there's all that crap off, which we usually prefer. And so and not only that, but it supports every single controller as well.
Yeah, except the big issue currently. So there's going to be an article on Upload VR, I believe tomorrow, that'll address a lot of this stuff, and so make sure you check that out. But in the meantime, I'd asked Jamie. I said, "What's up with there's all this stuff on the screen?" And he goes, "I'm pretty sure you go with the options and remove everything, all the HUD stuff, and get rid of it." But the only thing I'm not sure about is I'm pretty sure that you can't remove the vignette that shows up when you're sneaking around. And I was like,
that I did notice. Okay.
So
it seemed like not like a normal vignette, but almost like an eye closing a little bit.
Yeah.
You're kind of squinting or something. I don't know.
And so, having some kind of visual representation on the screen to remind you that, yes, you are sneaking or you're in stealth mode or something is great. It's helpful. But I don't know if the vignette's the way to go here. Vignettes are so far, in VR games, generally regarded by people who don't get motion sickness as really annoying. And that's maybe not the way to go about this. But, again, we don't really know until we play ourselves.
It doesn't seem like it has anything to do with motion sickness because, when you're stealthily sneaking is when you're moving the slowest possible, which is when you're least likely to get motion sick.
Oh, right. That's just the indication on the screen, really.
Well, yeah, but the implementation of it does make me wonder, is there something mechanically that they had to, that this works better with or something because it clearly isn't for comfort if it only shows up when you're crouching and sneaking, right? So it's kind of a curious decision. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm very
so. That is a good point, Brian. I mean, that one I don't know. That wouldn't be the worst thing ever. I'll tell you what. Of all the things, the only thing that really, really bothered me, besides the alarm never shutting up in the video, was the icons, the indicators. There were so many. Everything just had a marker on it. And I'm really hoping you can turn all that stuff off, but I'm also hoping that you can turn that off without completely breaking the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times there's these VR games that they design them. They say, the door handle has a handprint on it and you want to turn that off. But to me, this had way too much going on in the HUD. Like the base game, the gameplay, all that looked fine. But the little things, the little things that kind of irk me, I saw a little bit too much of. Like there was a health low. There's a you've been noticed. There's a sound masked sound. There's a ammo icon there's a ammo icon. There's a reload here. There were so many icons.
I mean, that all seems like useful information to me. I'd like to know when I got noticed. I'd like to know when I'm at low health. I'd like to know when I've broken stealth and
but I don't like them in the form of popping up menus popping up in my face all the time.
Popping up, it's just a little text pop up on your left when you're hurt, or above you, there's a thing that only shows up when the sound is masked that briefly says sound masked, but it's not in your face the whole time, and it's a useful pop up. Because otherwise, you would just be getting yourself in trouble all the time.
I just minimal HUD, man. Minimal HUD.
I'm sure you can make it as minimal as you want it, probably. Maybe. But I think also once you're in the game, this kind of stuff that you're noticing and nitpicking from a flat perspective, you won't notice or care about. That stuff is going to be at the periphery of your vision. You're going to be focused on the guy shooting at you in front of you. You'll notice in the left of your eye, okay, I'm hurt. But then your center of focus will still be here, and the HUD will be all around here. There are so many games that have HUDs that are persistent in VR that we've learned to deal with that don't seem like more or less egregious than this one. This just seems like, I don't know. It didn't stand out to me as something that I would be worried about or need to turn off. But I guess different strokes for different folks.
These are my little nitpicks that I saw from the trailer.
I mean, the game looks
very
really
clear.
fun to me. I think we didn't really talk about that. We went straight into the nitpicks, other than it looks nice. But I mean, this looks like a really good stealth action game to me. This looks like a niche that we haven't had filled yet, and also a good company that puts out good games. And it looks like solid as far as the gunplay and as far as the sniping. The scope seems to work really well, which is a rarity in VR games. It looks like they actually got the scope down.
Scope looks nice.
I mean, I'm very excited to play this.
Really
I didn't really, nothing in this trailer made me less excited to play it.
I don't think if they were going to show 12 minutes of a game, I don't think they chose the 12 most exciting minutes of a game to show.
Wasn't it like the first level or something, or like pretty near the beginning of the game?
I mean, I'd assume so. Like, the dude does seem to start off with no ammunition. It seems like he's just like, hey, I'm here on a beach, and just kind of showed up, and like, I'm totally unprepared to do battle with anyone. So you kind of do feel like, this is the beginning. I'm sure there's some story that happens before it, but still, if you're trying to sell your game and you're going to show 12 minutes of gameplay footage, I don't know if this is the 12 minutes that I would have chosen, only because it's like, it does seem very slow paced and tutorial like almost. Not tutorial.
Well, but we should say part of that is on Upload VR. Not that Jamie's done a bad thing here by showing us this specific footage, but it's not like they're saying, oh, it's going to take you this long to beat this part and you have to play it like this. Like, Jamie's going very slowly through certain parts. He's being very cautious in a way that I think a lot of players won't be. But I think he's also going out of his way to try to show off certain things, like, he'll lift the gun up and show you what he's doing and stuff. Where, like in a normal run through, you wouldn't be spending your time kind of like showing that stuff off. You'd just be playing the game, right? So, it's not 100% indicative of what your playthrough is going to be like, obviously.
Boyd Brown clarifies, he's in the chat. He says, no, it's a mid-game level, not at the start.
Okay. Interesting.
So even stranger in my book. It's like, this is it'll be interesting to see. I mean, again, the tension when you're just watching this on the flat screen, things like indicators, like items and stuff around the environment and objectives that pop up on the screen. When you're watching a flat screen thing, when you're watching the video on a flat screen and the things pop up on flat screen, it can be very distracting. When I'm watching this and just kind of like casually watching it and not actually in VR and not actually in the role of the person, not terribly concerned about my own health or like an enemy around the next corner, I don't feel the tension, right? So these are all the things that I'm missing from this gameplay that I need to actually experience for myself. Because right now I'm like, it doesn't seem to be a whole lot of enemies and it doesn't seem to be a whole lot of this or that. The action seems pretty low, but I have no idea because I haven't played it. I think when I'm in there and I'll be like, oh man, the tension's high, like everything, like my health is low. I need to do something about this. Like I need to be very, very careful, sneak around the next corner, make sure, maybe I'm assuming there's very limited amount of ammo. Otherwise just go around blasting everybody. So these are things that like you will experience as a player. That'll certainly change your experience that, us sitting here and just kind of, Monday morning
looking at the footage
is
man, it shouldn't be a problem just to say, oh, I noticed this and I don't think that looks good to me. It shouldn't be a big deal because I do feel like the gameplay, the stealth mechanics, I love the option of, I do think like the way the stealth is going, I thought that was really cool. The sniping, and then there's like a good mix of action. I mean, he's like blowing shit up. He's throwing, or he's picking up grenades. He's picking up like lots of ammo and stuff. Yeah. But that's going to be the other thing that we haven't even talked about is I'm curious to see what's going to be the like definitive way to play this. And I think the aim controller is going to possibly be the best way to play this.
Donatello dreaming about PSVR 2 GameCat with the $5 tip says Sniper Elite VR and PSVR will be the best place to play because of the aim controller. Yes. No contest.
Thank you, Donnie.
Yeah, so that was actually the only thing I was thinking about when I was watching this. Like instead of focusing on different gameplay mechanics, all I could think was, man, it's not going to feel the same to climb that ladder without two move controllers. It's not going to seem to pick up that ammo or hit hit a reload button instead of doing it manually.
Well, that's what makes it really cool. Is it is redesigned for each one. It's redesigned. It's when you've got two hands. That's a great point. Is that that might take away the fun of climbing up ladders. There is like the stuff of like manually loading and stuff, but But I think that's I don't know. I'm going to be very curious to see what which one I prefer. Yeah. I think obviously for sniping the aim controller, but maybe some have a plus in one spot, some have different strengths and weaknesses, of course.
I think that's exactly what we're going to experience.
It'll come down to how they implement the movement scheme with the moves. Because I could see the moves being the most immersive way to play for sure. If they get the one thing you always have to worry about is the occlusion, blocking your other hand with this hand in front of the camera. Because there is a lot of, there's an icon for the second hand to grip the gun. So you're going to have to be like this all the time, which can be troublesome unless you have a really good camera setup. But if that works and the movement scheme is good, I might prefer it sometimes that way, just because you get all those little VR moments of cocking the shotgun, putting the ammo in.
It's usually really satisfying too. I actually started out liking Crisis Brigade 2 with the aim the most, and then I eventually moved over to the moves, and I haven't gone back since.
I'm with you. Just even like being able to like reach. I was gonna say reach around, and I'm like, Brian, hurry up! Think of another phrase other than reach around. But I like being able to kind of almost blind fire, or like stuff you don't really do with an aim controller. Like very seldom do I take an aim controller and use it one-handed and try to
corner,
right. And so that is definitely something that the moves can offer that the aim doesn't. I'm gonna have to play through this entire game twice because I need to experience it both ways. Unless one just obviously sucks from the get-go, and then I go, well, I guess I'm going back to the aim, or I'm going back to the moves, one or the other.
Well, if the DualShock 4 uses head aiming to track, I might end up playing that way sometimes too, because that's always the most precise for me. It's like a mouse and keyboard. Just look at the thing I want to shoot, boom, he's dead. Hopefully it's not. Usually games that track the light bar are not super precise or not the greatest way to play. Yeah. So if you're playing a sniping game and that's how they're doing the input, that could be kind of not a good way to play. But we'll see how they implement it. I don't know for sure.
A few other things in this that jumped out at me. I thought the voiceovers were again a little strange. Is you going through and it's like sort of like it seems like this very somewhat silent protagonist, and then suddenly out of the blue you get a line of voiceover that's like oh right, okay, we're not us, we're some other dude, and like he has a story. And like one of the last trailers that we saw from Rebellion made it seem like, oh, there's gonna be a lot of fucking story in this. So again, I'm really interested to see what happens between levels to kind of justify the voiceovers during the levels, because I think right now they seem really out of place. But seeing if it's like, oh, there's gonna be like this whole story being told throughout the game, it's like eventually I'm gonna want to hear this guy talk and hear what he has to say and hear, oh, how does this situation move the story forward, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's all, like I said, it's all told in retrospect, and it's a guy sitting. In the trailer, the last trailer they showed, it's like a guy sitting at a picnic with his family and
telling them all his war stories.
Yeah, like Grandpa, and he's like, "Let me tell you about World War II.
Let me tell you about 45. The night Japs came for us." It's like, Grandpa, shut up.
Yeah, I thought the voice sounded okay actually, but. It just depends on where it's placed. It's better the way they're doing it and telling you, I agree with you. But it is better than just like sitting there. We got to see more, but it is better than the alternative, which is maybe just sitting there and hearing a story being told while you're in a VR helmet.
For sure. Tiff is in the chat saying, this seems like we're dumping on the game pretty harshly before it even released. Where's the hype?
I'm hyped as well, Tiff.
I'm super hyped. And that's the thing is like,
I'm super excited.
We've said nothing, pretty much nothing but amazing things about Sniper Elite for every show leading up to this one. And now it's like, okay, now we're going to fucking break apart this 12 minutes and critique the fuck out of it. And we're going to see very soon if we're right or wrong about these critiques. So I can't wait. This is kind of like the last last amount of speculation.
Overall. Yeah, the gameplay overall and everything looks fantastic. Like I said, the whole, I love stealth in VR. That's been another one of those things that I was never super crazy about, but ever since VR really liked. It's just that gameplay style is really immersive. And yeah, like I said, I just can't wait to snipe stuff. The sniping looks fun. The action looks good. It looks like a great blend. There's not many World War II games. There's not many there's not many like traditional first person shooter games like this. Like you'd think that every other game would be like this, but there's not actually. So this game is a big deal. We know that there's 18 levels, they've said, and if this is just one little snippet of half a level, then it's should be nice.
Yeah, I think I was a little bummed when we didn't get that Medal of Honor game, but it didn't turn out to be that great from what I've heard a lot of people say. Yeah. And so this looks like, to me, from what I've heard and seen about that, like I'm not worried anymore because this looks like a good, World War II military kind of first-person shooter game, and I don't need Medal of Honor anymore. This looks pretty good.
Yeah. Seymour GameCat says it comes from a place of love. I'm so excited. I just hope it doesn't break my heart. It's true. It's true. We want every VR game to be amazing. Like we want every game to be amazing, right? I mean, why would we ever want a game to be bad? We have to play it. You guys can play an hour and be like, "Fucking, I'm out of here. This isn't doing it for me." We got to play the whole thing. We got to review it. We got to talk about it for like days on end. It's like we want every game to be amazing. So don't take our critiques too harshly. I'm excited.
I mean, yeah, the things I pointed out, like I said, little things, nitpicks. They weren't like, I'd be more worried if it was like really bad game design things that I've seen. Everything I was pointing out was just little things that are just, like I said, every single thing I can do to add to the immersion, I prefer. When I play No Man's Sky, I love to turn off the HUD completely because there's just too much stuff on there.
You want to hear negative? Where's Aftershocks?
Yeah. Oh, man. But no, guys, this is huge. This is the first big game of the summer. It is hype time, guys, because summer has now pretty much begun, right? Isn't it officially summer yet, or no?
It certainly is in Washington State.
But
we have crossed the threshold date-wise. Yeah, we're into summer.
This is like it has begun.
Yeah.
Cue Shang Tsung. Like this shit's going down, man. There's a huge summer that starts next week with starting with Sniper Elite VR. So don't tell me about hype.
Dude, I was on the phone with Reggie from Strange Games literally minutes before the show began, and we were talking about all the games that are coming out this summer, and man, like it's insane. It's absolutely insane. We got Endeavor 1 in the chat. We got with Arashi, man, but that's just one of like literally 20 games that are coming out over the course of the next 12 weeks. I don't even know what to say, man. Like I've just got my fingers crossed that they're all fun to play. I got my fingers crossed that they spaced them out, and I know this isn't all on PlayStation. Like it's actually up to developers to place their own release date. But like, I hope all these developers like give their games a chance to breathe. You're like, oh, well, we wanted to release on August 13th. Well, this other game's coming out. How about August 21st? Perfect. Let's do that. Like, simple. One game per week. Let's do it. The next 20 weeks will be amazing. All right, you guys. I think that's going to do it for our conversation about Sniper Elite VR. Don't forget to go check out the full screen video over on Upload VR's YouTube channel, and pay attention to their site tomorrow. Jamie Feltham's going to have an article about all the smaller details that he didn't include. There's that fucking vignette, man. There it is. There it is. I can't not see it. But Dave, before we close out the show, you've got a video game PSVR 20 question game for us. You are the host today. Do you have one in mind already, or do you need to pick one?
I do indeed.
Yeah?
I gotta find an envelope. I want to start doing the Karnak thing where I hold an envelope up to my head.
Real quick, we've got a tip from Looper the Game Cat at €5. Says, what PSVR games have the most photorealistic human NPCs? My personal list would be Farpoint, LA Noire, Blood and Truth, Hitman, Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, pretty close.
Blood and Truth.
Blood and Truth has the best.
Ooh, LA Noire has the best facial animations ever. The way the faces move and stuff, they do make a little weird thing, but
they're both mapped. I think with like those little, what do you call them? They put little dots on people's face. Motion capture. I think they have for both.
Blood and Truth is a good one.
It threw me off.
Blood and Truth is a good one, but man, Farpoint's also a great one. God, I'm thinking like Farpoint or Hitman 3, one of those two.
Yeah, I mean, RE7 was the first thing that came to mind because it's, in my book, one of the most realistic looking PSVR games ever made. But it's also, I mean, you can say shocker.
That is one of the things.
But
I know, but that
incredible.
is one of the things. I lighten up. I'm making a joke. That is one of the things that makes that game so scary and really cool. Is that how realistic it actually kind of looks in a way? Yeah, but the only problem is now I'm starting to notice all these games that the NPCs and stuff look kind of small. So I'm like, does anybody like they all are starting to look small these days for some reason? Maybe I'm just growing up into getting bigger.
That's it. That's obviously it. That's the reason.
Yeah.
All right, everybody in the chat, you need to help us out here because oh man, distracted. Where were you, man? The next top 25 is in 3 months. Go back and watch the beginning of the show. All right, everybody in the chat, you got to help me and AJ out because this is like impossible on our own. We got 20 questions, 20 yes or no questions to figure out what PSVR game Dave is thinking about. I'm going to put 6 minutes up on the clock. On your mark, get set, go. Does it have aim support?
No.
Does it have DualShock support?
Yep.
I mean, I guess I got to ask. Does it have move support?
Yes, it does.
Okay, DualShock and move. Okay. Is this a horror game?
Nope.
Okay.
Is it a shooter?
Nope.
Puzzle.
Okay. Is it a puzzle game?
I wouldn't call it a puzzle game. No.
But it has puzzles in it, Brian.
But they're not really what you'd call puzzles. It's pretty simple.
Is it a fantasy game?
No.
Okay. Has this developer, my favorite question, made other PSVR games?
Oh.
That didn't help me last
I
time.
think I want to say yes, but I have to be 100% sure about this before I say yes, because there's a little bit of gray area here. So pause the timer, and I'm going to...
Oh, it's paused, baby. It's paused.
Oh, okay. All right.
The second you said, I was like, pause.
Yeah.
Yes, Twitcher. Today. Yes, Twitcher.
So I would say no. I mean, well, yes, this is the only game that this specific developer has put out on PlayStation VR.
Resume. Okay. Wait, where's AJ? We're going to pause again.
AJ? There he is.
There we go.
Here.
Resume.
Bear with me.
I'll bear with you. Is it first person?
Yes.
What was the question that I missed?
This is the only,
have they made something else?
This is the only game that they've made. And it's in first person.
Have we gotten the genre down? Is it a sports game?
Now, hold on one sec, Brian. I want to go back. Let's say a maybe on that. Have they developed? So it's one of those things where there's a developer, there's a publisher. It's hard for me to say exactly, but I think you could conceivably say that they have had a second VR game. So I'm going to say then vaguely yes. To go back to the one that I said no about.
Interesting. Okay. That actually brings up some interesting things here. But not a puzzle game. Oh, is it AJ, you asked if it's a sports game?
Yes.
Oh, it's not a sports game, no.
Okay. Full locomotion? Do you have full locomotion in this game?
No.
No.
Is there teleportation?
Yep.
Okay. So it's teleportation. Now, should we narrow down what kind of teleportation? Should we ask if it's node to node or
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we still need to get the genre. We need to get the genre or we're screwed.
Okay, well it's not a shooter, not horror, not puzzle, not fantasy. What are we left with here? Is this would you call this narrative driven?
Yes, I would.
I'm on the path right now of the Invisible Hours.
Oh.
It does have DualShock and move support. It does have teleportation. It's narrative driven. It's first person, technically, right? Yeah, because you do play as. Yep. There's no full locomotion. It's not a puzzle game. Not a horror fantasy.
Oh, how many questions are we at?
Next one is 14.
Is it a mystery game?
No.
Not Invisible Hours. Okay. Yeah, I guess Invisible Hours is kind of puzzly anyway. You're right, Looper. Okay. Yeah, Durasne is what I was thinking before Invisible Hours. But Durasne is like puzzle game too.
Destinies, yeah, definitely a puzzle experience. Something.
Yeah.
By the way, I've been playing that more because of Nick. Anyways,
Yeah.
don't have time.
Oh yeah, right. I totally forgot to unpause at some point, but whatever.
Oh, come on.
I know,
The clock is a farce. We all know the clock is a farce.
definitely. Let's see here. Let's think.
What did you say about the developed more than one game?
I came down as a yes, technically.
Okay.
Did this come out during the launch year, like not 2016, but the first year of PlayStation VR?
Nah.
Is this like purely like an interactive movie kind of thing?
For the most part, I mean, yeah, you have some agency. Things can go differently, but yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of. But not like Bonfire. Don't think of it like Bonfire. Not like that kind of interactive narrative thing.
Right. Well, you play as a character in Bonfire. This is more along the lines of like 11-11.
Ooh,
I see
11-11.
Yeah.
Now, but 11-11 only is third person, right?
I don't think Dave would remember 11-11 because
I played it on my lunch break. I remember streaming it.
No, I mean, but like I don't know how you would think of that, like, because
it wouldn't come.
No, it wouldn't come to anybody's mind.
It's not as obscure as that. I'll give you a hint. Next one's 17.
Yeah, sorry, Frosty. Batman was a launch title, so that's out.
Is normal price, launch price under $20?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'll double check, but what is it? PS prices that has.
We never. Can I change? Wait, hold on. Can I change that? We haven't even gotten like the genre down yet.
Yeah, he already answered it. Well, we know it's a first-person narrative sort of something with teleportation. So I mean, I don't know if we're gonna be able to narrow it down. He said it's not a mystery, so
yeah, it's not a mystery. It's not a horror. We didn't ask sci-fi yet. I don't think.
We didn't ask sci-fi. Go ahead.
Is it sci-fi?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
It doesn't fit cleanly into a genre.
Okay. It's going to be a problem. Do you have an inventory in this game?
No. You have one question left.
Oh, wow. Wait, one question and a guess, or?
Well, this would be 20, but I'll give you an extra one.
Okay. Man, usually
I haven't seen anybody in chat get it yet either.
Well, Todd said the assembly, but the assembly is definitely a puzzle game.
Last question. Is it a stealth game?
No.
Wow.
I don't think you guys have it.
I don't even have a list of games that it could be. I'm just like totally blanking right now on anything.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys think for 1 minute before you make a final guess, and I'm gonna get something, and I'll be right back.
Okay, that means I can stop the timer. AJ, how do we get ourselves into this situation? It's got DualShock 4 and move support. It's got teleportation. It's narrative driven. It wasn't a launch game. It's not a puzzle game, a shooter game, a horror game, a fantasy game. It seems like the developers kind of put out another game. And I'm trying to think of developers that like even put out, like, the fact that you had to question it means it's obviously not like Arvory or Survios, that kind of like, those normal things that you think about,
right.
Or like Vertigo, right? So like what could throw them off?
You have your guess?
No. Should have asked if it had multiplayer. Probably no. There's no multiplayer.
I could give you a hint, but it would be way too easy. You would get it second.
I think we failed. But let's
you want the hint now?
I'm gonna take a guess. Take a guess just so we can fail properly, and I'm gonna take the suggestion from the chat and say, is it Accounting Plus?
It is Accounting Plus.
Whoa!
You fucking got it. This was gonna be my hint, but obviously too easy of a hint.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you, Donatello.
I cannot believe that you
Donatello
were
got it,
near
man.
it.
Yeah,
because he's the first person in chat who said it. I think nobody else has said it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I forgot that they had done. So it's Crows technically released it, but Squanch Tendo worked on it, or Squanch Games as they were called at the time. And Squanch Games obviously put out Trover, so that was kind of the weird gray area there.
Okay.
But yeah.
Wow. What way to go, Donatello, man. Like there was
good job, chat.
Not even close, man. Like I was nowhere near that. So there was I don't think AJ and I were gonna get it without your help. I mean, we obviously weren't gonna get it without your help. So I think Donatello won that pretty much all on his own. So
absolutely. But good on you for noticing that was a good answer that fit all the criteria, because I was waiting for somebody to think of it in chat.
Nice. Yeah, that was a good one, man. We should have gotten that one a little bit sooner. But
I think the ones
Monday
that kind of the trend of like it's not a genre game of you can't like what the fuck is the genre of Accounting Plus?
Yeah,
so like I can't. Yeah, but is that even a genre? I mean, I wouldn't. Is that a humor game? We can't
start
ask
asking.
that.
Is it a funny game? It's like that's good for about 5 games total, possibly.
Exactly.
I know. We've asked that question before too, which drives me nuts.
Yeah,
but it's always been a bad idea to ask if it's a comedy game.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, you guys.
Hold on. X-Refund says can't pick games that no one played. Are you serious, dude? Everybody played Accounting Plus.
Everyone played Accounting Plus, and if you haven't,
that's not some like little, no name.
And if you haven't, go play Accounting Plus. It's awesome.
Yeah, super fun. And they kept adding stuff to it for a while. There's like more levels than there were when it first came out.
And it's like $12. Like,
yeah, it's been on sale for like $5 too.
Yeah, Frosty. Frosty was like, "I told you it was Wipeout." We know. We knew that. All right, you guys. That was a great show. Thank you, Dave. Make sure everyone subscribe to Dave Station VR. Thank you, AJ. Everyone subscribe to AJ at PSVR Underground. Thank you to all the mods that are in the house, keeping the chat civil. But you know what? Thank you to everybody in the chat. Y'all didn't need to be civilized. That's not the word I was looking for. No one had to force you to be civilized because you're all awesome all the time already. So thank you very much for that. Shout out to Miles Dyer, who runs our Instagram account. Shout out to Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry. That will add some timestamps to this show sometime after the fact. If watching the whole show is too much for you, then there's always timestamps about 12 to 24 hours later. And I think that's pretty much it. So thank you to everybody who donated during the show. Thank you to everybody who commented, was part of the chat. Thank you to Donatello for saving Video Game 20 questions. And of course, thank you to everybody who sat back, watched the show, didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. I think it's time to cue the cat. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Let's do it.
Cue the cat, Brian, because I want to say, see you Wednesday to the Game Cats out of the glue bagger. Says he's eating with his hands right now. Justin Cassidy. Johnny Ripe off the Stray Cat, thank you for modding. Sergeant Frosty, Nice Soldier, thank you for joining. Glacius Dreams, Secret Sub, good to see you. Twitch the single player Game Cat. Gabriel 004, the licensed meow Game Cat. Meow meow. Meow 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 meow. Blue Drew, the Underground Game Cat, Elite Name Squad in the house. Todd the Footer, Monkey Game Cat. GC13, the Diet Pepsi Cat. Scott Tesco, PSN, Harry Fell, PSN, PSVR Game Cat for life. Thank you. We're glad you enjoyed the show. Hunter, the Game Cat, goodbye.
Hunter.
ET.2K9 now. ET.2K now. Okay, no. Ash VR, thank you so much.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight now.
Donatello, dream about PSVR 2 Game Cat. Great job with the guest. Emily Baxter, hashtag the Game Kit. Says cute cat. Oh yeah, cat's been cute. And Dever1, thank you so much for joining in. Get over here. Lethal Weasel VR. Oh wait, what is the thing they said at the altitude low altitude.
Right.
Decepticon. Yeah, GG22 homie. Memory Gamer. Silent Evil 999. Dan Keeper, thank you so much for joining tonight, my friend. Genetic Blasphemy. Good to see you, Steve IRE. Tune in from Ireland. Lethal Weasel VR. What up, Wes? Firehead. Somebody pour some water on him. Baggio 10, Sirento. Love Sirento, man. Sirento was my answer to the question of the day. By the way, Donnie, you're killing it with that question of the day. I love that thread so much. XG Gamer 7, thank you so much for joining and thank you for playing. Who else we got here? Nihilist Ryan, the game feline. Guys, thank you so much. Summer has begun. Oh man, it's almost a shame we have to go because Tornado looks so adorable.
So
Oh,
adorable.
no.
She's choked. Want me to switch back?
Yeah,
Real quick.
Make yourself
They
full
gotta-
screen.
Can you
make yourself
zoom
full
in?
screen?
Yeah, can you
Oh,
zoom
she's
into
like
her?
staring. I
Look
love
at
it. She looks
her.
me right in the eye like all the time.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
let me give 1
Aw.
second here. Let me just. Oh wow,
Dude.
that's
Dude,
never done that before. This looks absolutely horrible. This is not how things are supposed to go. Hold on a second. Wait. There she is. You can see her. This whole thing is kind of a mess.
Oh, she's so cute.
She's so
Carlos
adorable.
is looking at Tornado right now.
Look,
Carlos
there she
does
is.
not look amused.
Oh, who's her?
What up, Carlos?
Who's your-
Carlos looks like me.
Oh,
And
why?
boxed in. Put
Oh,
a
yeah,
beanie
he
on
does.
Carlos, and he looks like
I
me.
don't have an extra beanie laying around, but I'll buy a cat one.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Emily Baxter says, "Cue the cat again."
That's awesome. All right, let's get out of here. Meow, everybody. Meow, meow.